Life is an experiment, it's a work in progress, it's an opportunity to show up, to create. And it's a mystery too, because we do this individually from the inside out, and we also have a collective result. And so it's perfectly pertinent to wonder, to inquire what's really going on, and to wonder as to what is my role here. How can I be an effective part of this whole. And one of the tricks to this that I'm finding, that I'm discovering, is that my whole life up to a certain point has been indoctrinated, educated, brainwashed with the beliefs, the false perceptions that the outside world dictates my becoming, and that there are external forces that are stronger, more powerful than any internal forces. Now, the tricky thing is that at a certain level this is true, but this is only true temporarily, in terms of, this precious human existence being finite, in terms of our humanity, our human suit. There is an animating principle, and a lot of us know it from the inside out, through the feeling, through the tangible connection and experiencing of our being transcending the limitations of our physical form. And so the more we connect to this internal reality, the more we connect to the other levels that operate the creative principle of our nature, and where the outside does not dictate the inside. It's the other way around. But this dictation that I speak of isn't a selfish one. It's not one that is motivated by the limitations of the little self. It has a greater reason for being here, that transcend the limitations and the ego consciousness. Transcend and includes them. So this is what I feel can really does really make a difference now in what is being entrained into the field. Another way to say all of this is that life is a dream, is dreamlike. There is this intrinsic plasticity and connectivity that creates relationships that are beyond what we may physically be able to measure. And this connectivity, this unity has an extraordinary quality that makes each one, each being, each sentient human that is, feeling, and beyond humans, probably here on this planet, of course. I'm thinking of dolphins, of whales, and in fact of so many of the other animals. And who knows about the spirits of the trees as well. Anyway, I diverge. The point is that as our humanity here, we have this center of consciousness, of sentience, which, if the universe is infinite, then the center is everywhere. And the center has this potential capacity to exert black hole, written with a W, dynamics such as infinite gravity, which is basically a way of grounding and connecting with the absolute meaningfulness of knowing, of being here, of know thyself, and then do from that position of knowing. And so we create our reality, and we co-create our reality. And what I have found, and I'm finding it's an ongoing process, is that the sacred geometry of my human form in this life, which has an ego kind of tag to it, and more deeply than that, an animating principle which beams out from my eyes as it beams out from your eyes, and from the eyes of all the creatures. When we connect, we see the light coming out of the black hole, and also the light going in to the black hole, right? So it's really pretty darn tootin' amazing. And so this form has a sacred geometry. Now, this is not a disembodied idea. Plato said geometry precedes creation, and so embodying this connection with the essence of our geometry is a prerequisite and a jumping off point to then creating what it is that our heart truly desires. So in that sense, this is about the law of attraction, but from a transcendental point of view, about simply really coming home to the present moment and to your singularity, which is an infinite gravity, but not of the little self. It's the infinite gravity of the cosmos. And so this then allows us and gives us with the opportunity to surrender to the greater self, which is your true nature, my true nature, the I am. What is going to happen then is that you or I realize, in terms of the realization making real, not just a cognitive function of aha. We basically bring, here you have the man of Mencius. We have the cup, which symbolizes, expresses, the upper chakras, the head, the cognitive functions of our head brain. And not only that, this cup is also the higher mental functions, what Aurobindo called the supramental. It's the meditation, the meditative capacity of our consciousness embodied in this human form to dissolve into the totality and to absorb the spaciousness, to contain the limitless space, paradoxically within the bounded form of our humanity. We have the cross, which are basically the middle chakras from the throat to the solar plexus, with the heart being in the middle, of course. And it's also a plus sign. That's not trivial or random. And then we have the square, which is the base, which symbolizes, which is basically houses the groundedness of being here in this physical body. Therefore, the lower chakras from the solar plexus down, and where we concentrate our energy. And then you notice that this man or woman of Mencius is basically articulated along a vertical axis. This vertical axis is your eternal now. And all we need to do is connect the suspended head top. Feel that gently being pulled up. This immediately opens up the whole breathing space, the lungs, and the heart can expand. And then we can breathe all the way down. Because of gravity on this planet, we can allow our consciousness to slip all the way down and through the coccyx and the root chakra, go into the legs and all the way to the soles of the feet, and then through the soles of the feet connected to earth, we are indeed bridging heaven and earth. And then you notice as well the Vesica Pisces, which is basically the shape of the here and the now, connecting the absolute with the relative realm. And this is where we show up, one foot in both worlds. This is the eternal now. And there's more. There's this horizontal axis, which is the infinite here. And notice how the infinite here and the eternal now connect where? Well, in the heart. So I just invite you to let us together linger for a few moments, feeling our verticality, our vertical axis and our horizontal axis, both connected in the heart. And notice how grounding that is. How expansive. And how thoroughly you or I it is. And it's ever present. It's I am here now. This is the starting place. This is the ground of our being and our doing, of our becoming, moment by moment. This is the moment of power. Simple, right? So the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the teachings of Neville, Goddard, and of so many other amazing teachers really have to do, if we drill down to what it is, how it is that I am feeling here and now. And we have made the mistake of positing that feeling upon external circumstances. And whilst at a certain level it's legitimate to have the physical body nourished and cared for, at other levels it's really a very, very internal, spiritual, or immaterial, rather, focus that drives this. So when Neville Goddard spoke of the feeling, the feeling being the secret, that kind of thing, and the question that you can ask yourself is, well, how dependent am I upon external things to feel well? And how dependent am I on future or past events in order to feel well? And if I ask myself those questions and I notice that I'm getting pulled out of myself, then I know that I'm in a wrong belief and in a wrong perception, and I can just let it go and come back here to the I am in the present moment, which has everything. Regardless of bank accounts, regardless even of health, regardless of, all of these external factors. So being here now, I am here now through the I am process, what you can now do is have a much greater internal anchoring and alignment and stillness through which to see and to notice what is not going in that direction, what is not flowing, right? Is there fear? Is there anger? Is there grief? Is there a constriction that you are, or that I am putting myself into a separation mode? You know, we are infinite creators, so we are capable of doing all sorts of things, you know, from the heaviest, lowest frequencies to the highest, which, I don't know, there's no ceiling here. There's no ceiling in the sky. And the sky is in all directions. Remember, the earth is shuttling through space. So when you ground here on this plane, in this reality, on this planet, you are also grounding in the cosmos, of which you are a center, and that is very good news. As we step into what we already are, using the sacred geometry of our being, which is true, which is here, which is now, which is perceptible, which is sensitive, which is tangible, we can anchor our consciousness, our awareness, our attention, and begin now, or continue, to pulse through our hearts, to pulse the field with what we know is true. And this is very pertinent to the dream that I spoke of earlier, that life is a dream, because we can wake up in the dream and then decide to change the dream. And then have that change come in as a function of our level of consciousness. Or, and this may be counterintuitive, we can surrender all the way down to this awakening consciousness that we are an expression of, and then follow the intuition and see how the dream changes without our action or our operation being a function of a lower consciousness. In other words, it's absolutely normal to desire to have health, to have love, to have wealth, to see those things show up, you know, to have power in the noble sense of bringing effective service to the world, right? It's absolutely legitimate to have those things, and yet at the core of the desire for those things, and they're not necessarily things, you know, they're feelings, is the feeling, which is basically unconditional, and it's solely under your purview, mind, the purview of the I am, the sovereignty. And so what I'm inspired to share is this capacity of presence, which I'm, you know, expressing and evolving into, as the realization that everything is already perfect, and of course there is room for improvement. That improvement is going to come out of the realization internally that everything is already whole. And so then the desire for change is going to be akin to the artist portraying and expressing through whatever medium the love, you know, the goodness, the truth, the beauty that he or she sees in in the soul, through the heart, in each point of creation, at every bandwidth, at every level of frequency. And, this is unstoppable, it's invincible, it's profound. And the I am process is there to help us remember that, what the vehicle, what the journey, what the driver is actually doing here now.